I'm back after 30 days of Facebook Live. You just did not think that you could get rid of me that easily. My plan is to come back here every Thursday at noon just to share a little marketing insights and anything I know. So again, if you have any burning marketing questions, let me know. I'd love to be able to answer them. And of course, I just want to thank everyone in advance for just all your help and support and just all the great comments and engagement that we've had through my first 30 days. And oh my gosh, I just cannot even tell you what a great experience it's been. Today, I'd love to chat with you about working with friends because it's really, really interesting. As I have an opportunity to work with a bunch of friends, including a couple of my very best friends in the whole world who we used to work with together, and now we all have our own little agencies. And oh my gosh, I have learned so many things from working with friends. And I've seen businesses bring friends together, and I've also, more often than not, see business rip friendships apart. And so there are just a few things that I learned just because I became dangerously close to having a business relationship literally shatter one of my most precious and best friendships, because I just did not know what I was doing. And part of it is that the number one thing that I learned is working with friends, you need to be even more explicit than you would be if you were working with strangers. So I always have a pretty detailed proposal process, but when I work with friends, we really, really, really lay things out, roles and responsibilities. Hey, Allison, it's so nice to see you on one of my lives. Oh my gosh, one of my friends is here all the way from Australia. So good day. That I know that's probably not an Australian thing, but be very, very explicit about roles and responsibilities and who's going to do what within your project. Now, I run an agency, so I hire graphic designers and programmers and different things, different people along those lines. So this is probably more relative to that kind of business, but when working with friends, be very, very explicit. Oftentimes I work with friends that they have a business and then they hire me as a marketing consultant. Oh my gosh, my dogs are going wild. They'll hire me as a marketing consultant. And so it's interesting to be able to balance that friendship and still keep the business personal. So if you're working with friends, again, and this is, again, if you're partnering up on a project, I also recommend hiring the friend in. So there should always be a project lead when you are, like, let's say I sometimes team up with another agency, and so, but one of us will always hire the other one in. So there's always a project lead, there's always a main client liaison who's usually the hiring person, and then I treat that person just like they would be if they were a vendor or a client. It is a very clear role. So be explicit about roles and responsibilities and then hire that person in. And then I always like to write into my proposal when I'm working with friends, a friends first policy. So Keith Richards, who is the amazing guitarist from the Rolling Stones and definitely my favorite Rolling Stone, he just turned 76 yesterday, which I just cannot even believe that guy's still kicking. But the Rolling Stones have such a deep friendship, and when he was really struggling with drugs and he got busted with heroin, I think trying to get into Canada or something like that. And he, at that moment, it's amazing he did not get arrested. But he said at that moment, we always had this pact. It was the band first. And I was not going to let my drugs like heroin get in the way of the band. And so I like to adopt the Rolling Stones, Keith Richards, band first mentality, of course, with none of the arrests or addictive heroin. But I do like to have a friends first policy that if things start to go sideways, you can say time out. My friendship is way more important than this business or this project, and you have an opportunity to course correct. But make sure that you have that understanding, because again, business is sometimes different than personal, and it can get personal when you're mixing friendship with business. So the 3 things I've learned: be explicit with roles and responsibilities, more explicit with friends than you would be with strangers. And then hire people in. Always have someone coming in that you're hiring or that they're hiring you in, because it definitely helps to keep the relationship very clear and very businesslike. And then remember, friends first, because friends, oh my gosh, so come first. And I don't want anyone to have that, have business get in the way of friendship. It just does not need to be that way. And speaking of which, I have an amazing friend on this call, and I have to put on my glasses to read. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Allison just had this excellent point that, and actually, I'm so glad that you said that, because she said sometimes we're less explicit with friends because we know them so well, and that's where I could get into trouble. So, Allison, that's a really great way. So let me just start from the beginning. Don't sort of assume that you guys are going to know who's doing what. Be very, very explicit, even more explicit than you would be with a stranger or someone new that you're working with, or just a regular old client, like just a traditional client. So awesome. Awesome point, Allison. I so appreciate it. So you guys, I take off the last 2 weeks of the year. I get to close my agency down. That's definitely one of the benefits of having your own shop. So it is all about my family these next couple of weeks. So I literally go off the grid. And so I just want to wish you all just an amazing end to 2019. Sort of the magnitude of 2019 ending and a whole new decade starting is just sort of hitting me right now. It's sort of blowing my mind. So I am going to come back raring to go the first week in January. Again, I'm going to be here every Thursday at noon Mountain Time, sharing what I know. And I just wish you all just the most beautiful of holiday seasons and just an amazing New Year's. And I will be here, I think it's going to be January 9th, my first Thursday back in the office. So take care, you guys. Happy New Year. Cheers to a beautiful year, and just sending so much love. Please know that there is someone in Denver, Colorado, oh my gosh, who is 100,000% rooting for you. Take care, guys, and sending so much love. Bye-bye. Bye, Allison. Have a great, happy New Year, honey. Bye-bye.